Hello friends, welcome back. In this video, we shall be taking a look at who is a defaulter and how the society can deal with a person who is a defaulter. A defaulter is one who fails to fulfill a duty or obligation that one has towards the society. So what exactly is the duty of a member? It is the duty of every member of the society to pay the dues of the society within the time as decided by the society in its general meeting. There has been an amendment to the MCS Act, that is the Maharashtra Cooperative Societies Act, and this is known as the Maharashtra Act number 23 of 2019. And I shall be quoting this extensively in order to understand how defaulters are dealt with and, first of all, how we define a defaulter. So a defaulter is defined as one who fails to pay the dues of the society within 3 months from the date when the bill or notice was served, or due date of payment, whichever is later. And what exactly do we mean by the word dues? Any amount that is payable by a member or a flat owner to the society and demanded by the society by issuing a bill or notice in writing in accordance with the bylaws of the society. So that's as far as the legal definition goes. So we are clear about who a defaulter is, what is meant by a default, and what is the definition of dues. In the earlier days, all of us have heard that the society could invoke Section 101 of the Maharashtra Cooperative Societies Act in order to initiate recovery action against a member who was a defaulter. Well, now that has changed to some extent. The new amended MCS Act, Act number 23 of 2019, now outlines a new procedure. And let us see what that is. First of all, it says that Section 101 will not apply to cooperative housing societies for recovery of its dues or recovery of its maintenance and service charges. So 101 action is not applicable anymore, but instead some more stringent actions have been brought in by legislation. What exactly is the new procedure for recovery of dues? Sums and areas will be treated as areas of land revenue. In other words, a defaulter is not just defaulting on his or her payment to the society. It will be construed to mean that they are dodging the land revenue of the government of India or the government of the state. And for that, action will be initiated as per the Maharashtra Land Revenue Code 1966. So please bear this in mind. A default of the dues of a society are not just treated as a matter between the member and the cooperative housing society, but it becomes an offense against the state government. And we shall see how. The procedure to be initiated against a defaulter is that the society concerned furnishes a statement of arrears to the registrar. The registrar takes note of that and makes inquiries as he deems fit. Following that, once he is satisfied, he grants a certificate for the recovery of the amount. Now, this is a very important piece of paper. Now, what to do with this certificate we shall see next. This certificate is submitted to the collector. And on the basis of this certificate, the collector has to act in accordance with the Maharashtra Land Revenue Code of 1966. And after that initiation is done, not only is the interest and the society dues recovered, that member who was a defaulter will also have to pay the expenses of the recovery, which cost the state exchequer for the action that was initiated against him or her in the first place. Let us see what are the brief steps to recovery under Section 176 of the Land Revenue Code 1966 of Maharashtra. First of all, the member is served with a written notice of demand by the collector. If there is no action from the member, then the property of that person will be forfeited forthwith. After that, that property is attached and a sale of the defaulter's property is initiated. In case there is any problem with that, it can also lead to the arrest and imprisonment of the defaulter. And whatever was the cost of arresting the person and the amount spent by the state for the upkeep of the person in the jail will also be recovered after the sale of the property. So please remember, now the action is initiated under section 176 of the LRC 1966. It is not a court case. It is not a legal battle. It is simply a report being made to the registrar, obtaining a certificate of recovery and submitting it to the collector's office to initiate action which I've just outlined. Naturally, the next question that comes to mind is that despite all these rules and regulations, a defaulter is likely to go to court. He'll get a stay order, and then the society will be drawn into a long legal battle. Well, dear friends, first of all, any stay order by any court according to the Supreme Court cannot last more than 6 months. But then my question is, why should I get into all this trouble? I am doing this job of serving the society on a voluntary basis, not to be drawn into court battles. Well, friends, this is the reason why this section 154 of the MCS Act was amended, to avoid all that trouble. Not paying the dues of the society and becoming a defaulter is now a crime against the state. And according to the strict rules of the Land Revenue Code 1966 of Maharashtra, you must understand that a certificate for recovery from the registrar shall not be liable to be questioned in any court. Not the lower courts, not the High Court, not the Supreme Court. This is the absolute law, and that is what gives teeth for recovery against defaulters. One question that comes to mind is, what are the voting rights of a defaulter? It must be clearly understood that a defaulter is fully eligible to attend a general body meeting and also vote in case any proposition or resolution is put up for voting. However, a defaulter cannot stand for any election to the managing committee or be nominated or co-opted. This has been stated very clearly in section 154B-10 bracket 4. Very briefly, I will summarize what we saw in this video. First of all, we looked at the definition of default, defaulter, dues. Then we saw the procedure under the MCS Act as amended by Act number 23 of 2019. And we saw the parties involved. The dues to a society as arrears or by default is no more a matter between the member and the society. It is treated as arrears of land revenue to the government. We also saw what the actions under the Land Revenue Code are and the penalties thereof. So thank you very much for your attention, and we shall meet in the next video once again. Bye bye.